Following is an episode of the Brawdy Show, and listener discretion is strongly advised. Because if you're easily triggered, outraged, offended, maligned, mortified, insulted, or otherwise verbally injured, if you're constantly looking for a bubble, a safe space, some training wheels, or some water wings muffin to get through your day, take it up with a therapist. I'm not your shrink.
Thanks for listening to the Brian Brawdy Show. It's time to mortal up.
Good evening once again, and welcome to the Brian Brawdy Show. That music was a little quick there, but let me just say this. We have so much to get to tonight, including Courage is the Missing Piece, and we'll go ahead and wrap that up in the second half hour as we get closer to the Mortal Up. But there is so much, all kinds of breaking news, just all kinds of craziness going on in the world, and I want to get to it. I'm just kidding. Hi, Candace. Peace to you as well, my dear. Nice to see you as always. A breaking news that Amy Coney Barrett is going to be President Trump's pick to the Supreme Court. So let the party begin. Let the shenanigans begin. You know, I realized I was talking to Wayne in the pre-show, and I go, I think I just like watching people's heads explode. I very well think I could have been a serial killer in another life. When you get these videos on Twitter of people driving in their cars, screaming at the top of their lungs, the dictionary definition of apoplectic, because Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed on, and now there's going to be a new Supreme Court justice and this and that. You have to admit, it's a reason to have popcorn, right? We all should have a ton of popcorn nearby because this is the greatest time in the history of the world to be alive, right? There's just something about watching people go insane, watching people channel their inner lunacy that's just as attractive to me as all get out. I got to tell you, but there's so much to talk about tonight. We'll save it. Now, if you remember once before, we talked about Wayne has created a really great graphic, and the team has gotten together and created a new segment called The Maleficent Seven. Hey, say hello to Janice as well. Now, Wayne's got it, the Maleficent Seven. And we didn't have time tonight, and I just wanted to share this with you. We didn't have time tonight to redo the Maleficent Seven because there's all breaking news going on, right? Who am I, Hannity? Oh, we got a busy news night tonight. But in any event, I have two other names that we will be adding to this list, just so you know. So they will be co-winners tonight of Lowlife's Making Headlines, and we'll get to that in a minute. But they are future add-ons, if you will, for the Maleficent Seven. And we'll discuss that at the bottom of the hour when we open up the phone lines. Don't forget, you can text me all the time, 833-667-8251. We'll take texts at that number until the bottom of the half hour. 833 or the bottom of the hour into the second half hour. 833-667-8251 BB. And of course, I'm talking about Bridget Butler. Bridget, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. I have to tell you a quick little story. So for Lowlife's Making Headlines tonight, maybe we'll do that. Wayne, let's trigger that. Trigger. I love that word. Oh, and I love let me just say this before you do, Wayne. As we recorded the new open, the new warning to everybody, I so wanted to say, hey, you woke muffin. I didn't. We might re-record that. Oh, look, if you need a therapist, don't bug us. I'm not your shrink. So we're created that new open because there's a lot of people go, I couldn't believe you said that, including, I'll share with you tonight, why people are going to say, tomorrow morning, they'll be saying, can you believe Brian said that? I never realized he was that way. Wayne, let's go ahead and hit Lowlife's Making Headlines, or as we like to call it around here, brains that make your blood boil. Here's your brittle brain atop a balsa wood spine for today. Now, we may have to re-record that, Wayne, because it's brains that make your blood boil, but it's also brains that make your ears bleed. So the first one that's in the running for tonight, and again, Wayne's going to add him to the Maleficent Seven after the fact, is Jeffrey Toobin, the CNN legal analyst. Where did he get his law? What does he analyze? Does he analyze like reruns of LA law, right? Legal analyst, what exactly is going on with that guy? So Jeffrey Toobin is number one. But by far, number two, and she made it right in the 11th hour because I was running behind. I had to go pick up some stuff at the store just before the show, and traffic's everywhere, right? Which is why I say all the time, I'm rooting for the lockdown. But in any event, so Sirius is on in the car, and I make the mistake of turn up the volume so I can hear, who is this Jessica Tarloff? Now, I know you're thinking, Brian, you picked on Jeffrey Toobin. Is this whole thing tonight picking on JTs? So I apologize if there's any JTs initials listening. That wasn't my intent. But who is this Jessica Tarloff? Talking about brains that make your ears bleed. This woman, she's like a Democratic Fran Drescher. She just has this screeching. And I know you're thinking to yourself, Brian, are you that shallow that you would comment? Yes, I'm terribly that shallow. Look, if a crow was flying by and you were able to jump up and smack it with a tennis racket, that kind of screech, caw, 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 that kind of noise is exactly what this woman's voice would be like. And she's only as shrill in the voice as she is in her political opinion. I don't know how they do it, how they put this person on air. So tonight, our two lowlifes making headlines. JT corners the market. Jeffrey Toobin, legal analyst at the Circus News Network. Who knows what he analyzes? Gives legal briefs a new definition. Apparently, he was very briefly educated in legal things. And the second, Jessica Tarloff. Poor Jessica. Just bring the voice down a little bit, talking about making your ears bleed. Political philosophy, there's not much we can do about that, I suspect. She's gonna be a Democrat, but really, she's like Fran Drescher, I swear. All right, so I don't want to make the show all about me. I want to get into some of the breaking news, some of the different things that we have going on this evening. But first, I just wanted to mention this. I got an email right before we went on air that said, hey, could you talk a little bit about the insanity of politicians locking down playgrounds, right? And I took a picture way back when, in the beginning of all this insanity, where they had literally ordered maintenance personnel, guys or girls, right, to come in and take down all the basketball hoops because they were afraid that people playing basketball outdoors was a quicker way to spread the coronavirus. So since everyone, and you know who they are, you know them, maybe you love some of them, I don't know. Everyone's screaming about science. I saw a sign today on a playground that says, please practice social distancing. And it was so windy out, it had blown the sign almost over to the ground. So for all the budding scientists out there that want to scream about, you got to follow the science. It's all about science. So if you could, get out your slide rule, push up your glasses with a little piece of medical tape, hold them all together, the pocket protractor, all this, get it all out. Let me ask you this. Do they calculate a science in, do you think, if it's like a 20-mile-an-hour wind and you have it's a 6-foot rule, if you're downwind of someone, does it add to the 6-foot rule? Like, is it more like a 1-foot rule if you're upwind, but a 17-foot rule if you're downwind? Or if you're outside, sunny and 85 as it was today, whatever the temperature was, sunny and 80 at least, I think, with 50-mile-an-hour winds. And it goes back to what I was talking about yesterday, these brainiacs at some of the schools that just dovetail with politicians. It's like some of them, school administrators, always wanted to be politicians. And now that the politicians are exacting all of their craziness, school administrators go right along with it. So let me ask you a question. You can't touch a handle on a car door because they think, oh, COVID might be able to stick to the car. As I said before, it's got a staying power greater than a Hostess Twinkie has a shelf life. Miss Putnam's joining us. Good evening. She always picks up such great pictures of food. I think my face turned red when I said Twinkie, right? But it has the staying power of the shelf life of a Twinkie. No one will touch a car door. I don't want to get COVID. That kid sneezed twice. Send him home. Oh, we have to social distance, even on football, soccer, lacrosse, track fields, whatever they are. Here's my question for all the budding scientists that are convinced that there's global warming. Here's my question for all the budding scientists, regardless of what you believe. If you're standing downwind, should you at least double, if not triple or quadruple, the 6-foot rule? Because if someone sneezes and the wind's blowing left to right, and you're standing to the right, I'm thinking it's going to be longer than 6 feet. It's not me. It's just science. Take it up with everyone screaming science. Take it up with everyone going, well, we've got to follow the science. Got to be, always. It's science. Sorry, sounded a little bit like Jessica Tarloff Fresher. Fran Drescher. Drescher is the name. Fran Drescher there. What an irritating voice. Can't wait to get to the Maleficent 7. All right, so what we're talking about this evening, we're going to talk about the missing piece of the puzzle. And of course, the missing piece of the puzzle is always courage. But it's your courage, not the courage of the crowd. Who cares? Not the keyboard courage of some of these nuts texting away and going, oh, or telling you all these different things because they got a keyboard, they got a computer, they got an iPhone between them. They'd never say those things to your face. Right? They'd never come up. All my friends, all the people here in the feed that commented, oh, well, they better not come up to me at the dinner table. That's all I'm saying. Right? Just let me enjoy my meal with my family. Don't come up with your fist in the air, screaming, hollering, acting like you know how to use a bullhorn. Believe me, you're clipping all the time. No one can barely hear you. Which makes me think, I guess like 20 or 30% of the population is my age or older. Are we really going to surrender? Are we really going to surrender our future to the mashugana that's running around now? I call them the violent minority, the liberal left lunacy, which is why I'm great being the lightning rod for it. Are we really going to surrender our future? Are we going to surrender everything we've worked so hard for? Because some woke lunatic, some crazed muffin is triggered by what we say or what we do or this or that? Oh, please. All right. Oh, speaking of being triggered, and I thank Wayne again. Wayne is a creative genius. Wayne, can you go ahead and we talked about our new product, the new thing that we're going to be selling here at Radio Bry. Of course, we're talking about the Brian Brawdy Show. What is our latest product? We mentioned it last night that we'll be selling here. So people can come on over to mortalup.com, mortalup.com. I said, .cam, because Janice said, hey, everyone says I sound like Fran Drescher. Well, Janice, then everyone's lying to you because you sound nothing like this squeaking duck in a closing elevator door of Jessica Tarloff. No, no, your voice is melodious compared to this person. All right, so Wayne, can you give them a shot of the latest item to be sold over at mortalup.com? Of course, you can get a t-shirt. Oh, look at this. Okay, so now, if you're out and about and you're hiking around, right, especially in the wilderness, and I think either today or tomorrow is National Park Day. So you could be somewhere in the Northwest. You could be saying to yourself, I have to worry about grizzly bears. I have to take some bear spray, some bear repellent with me. Well, now we're introducing our new line. It's called skateboard repellent. So I know what you're thinking, but just hear me out on this. Skateboard repellent. So if you're out with your loved one, your husband, your wife, your significant other, your family, whatever, and you're having dinner, and someone walks up to you with their fist in the air and they want you to scream this or scream that, or, they're cognitively challenged in one way or another. So misery loves company. They're hoping you'll jump on the bandwagon and remind them how dumb they are. So you're thinking to yourself, well, what can I use? Well, we'll be selling on mortalup.com, and we call, just like bear repellent, we call it skateboard repellent. So the next time one of these junior Olympians strolls on up to your table with a skateboard, which I just call anymore a weapon of choice, but they come up to your table. You ever notice these people? They're never riding the skateboard. They're carrying them under their arms like baseball bats or collapsible batons. You ever notice that? So you'll be able to purchase over at mortalup.com. I'll tell you what, we'll get the first can's free. We will. It's right. So if you're out at dinner and someone comes rolling up, screaming, hollering, carrying on, you'll have a can of skateboard repellent. Yes, sir. Wayne, was that you? No?
Yep, that was my computer.
Oh, okay. What's going on with you? It says, you sound like your brother John. Now, Bridget, are you saying Janice? Sounds like my brother John, or I do. Because if John finds out you just said he sounds like Janice, them's fighting words. All right. So anyone, please go over to mortalup.com, sign up, supplies. While supplies last, it's very limited, but skateboard repellent, right? Just to have it along table side. You know what I mean? Or if they bring your French fries without enough pepper, I guess you could hit it with that, right? But just to have it in case any of these brainiacs, I'm told I'm not allowed to say asshats on radio because apparently that's vulgar. So any of these
Bleep.
dipshits, what? Oh, I'm not allowed to say dipshit. Oh,
Bleep.
Wayne, what? Which one aren't I allowed? Is it asshat or dipshit? Which one can I say?
The second.
This. Listen to you. Well, get your
Beep.
finger on that button. Well, that's what that sign is. Deep. Okay, so I can say asshats. So skateboard repellent in case an asshat stumbles over to your table and tries to interrupt your dinner. So you can get them at mortalup.com while supplies last, all that kind of thing. All right, Wayne. So I said in the beginning, I don't want to make this all about me, but we have a world premiere video. Now, Wayne said to me, will you stop teasing this video if you're not going to do it? And I have worked around the clock I know, skateboard repellent. I love it. I've worked around the clock to create the mobile marketing mobile, if you will. Mobile marketing mobile. Oh, the 3Ms. I've skateboarded. I need my own repellent. I've worked on creating two. If you remember the green RV, if you remember the New York Crimes article, if you remember all these other things, you remember seeing the green RV. Well, this is the second coming of the green RV. This is my second mobile marketing vehicle. Wayne, here's the world premiere video. Wayne, take it away. Oh, I like that music. Yes. Very nice. That's how you can track them. Very nice. Yes, the light. You got to be seen on the road. These people are crazy. I mean, not unlike me. I'm a menace even if I wouldn't. I never text and drive because I'm a menace behind the wheel. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about this. What we decided we would do is that we're going to be driving. This is how we're going to drag around immortalup.com, right? So I designed this trailer. I designed the frame. I got all this together. Wayne's going to throw up a picture for me very quickly about the bicycle mount that we use. And what you saw was, okay, so you saw the lights. We're going to be well lit. No one's going to worry about not seeing us. Who knows if we get hit, right? But no one's going to be worried about not being able to see us on the road. And then the actual, what is it? It's called, let me pull it up here and see what it is. It's called Strava, I believe. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. Strava. I think it's called Strava. But in any event, you'll be able to watch where I go. So when we say, oh, we're going out to do a this or do a that, you think someone could just show me the damn name of this thing. Sorry, I'm probably not allowed to say damn. In any event, Wayne will post a link. It's this software that tracks my ride. It tells you the time, the temperature, not where you are, where I am, how far I've gone, how fast I've gone. So I'm going to drag this thing. Now, my goal starting Monday morning, 20 miles a day. But now, because Tuesday night is the greatest night in the history of television, and we'll talk about this here in a minute. So I'm still going to try Tuesday morning. I'll probably take a little bit of nap in the afternoon so that I can be ready to go for Tuesday night, 9 Eastern. Now, I know you're thinking to yourself, Brian, what could be the greatest night in the history of television? Of course, I'm talking about the first presidential debate. Well, that's if someone in the camera crew doesn't come down with COVID and they cancel the whole thing and none of us get to see the debate. But Tuesday night at 9 o'clock is the debate. So I'm going to get my ride in early that Tuesday morning. So, Wayne, let me ask you a question. I think it's called Strava. We'll put a link up here. I got to get it to Wayne. I think that's what it's called. But you'll be able to come. Yeah, Strava, Strava. And it's free, I believe, if you want to sign up. But you'll be able to track me. You'll be able to watch me. You'll be able to say, hey, did Brian really do his 20 miles riding that day? Did he really do his 10 miles walking with the picket signs? And I promise you, I'll never hold the phone out the window and drive around our other mobile testing facility in the car. Brian Bouchard says the red Subaru. He remembers that very well. You should ride around spraying the skateboard stuff. I'm not allowed to say. I'm not allowed to say that word. Apparently, Wayne's got his finger on the button, and we can pretend it's the mosquito truck from our youth. Yes. Right? All I'm doing is busy spraying the neighborhood. That would be great, Brian, right? For all those people that go, hey, I don't want to have to put up with these arrogant, liberal what's the word I'm looking for? Some narcissistic skateboarders. So that's a great question, Brian, and we'll have to check with the manufacturer. Does skateboard spray, can you use it preemptively? Like when you get to the restaurant and you want to make sure none of them come around, can you lay down like a suppressing, right? A suppressing fog of our skateboard spray, mortalup.com, skateboard spray. Make sure you pick up a case. Or can you lay down a suppressing fog of this skateboard spray to keep people at bay while you're getting through your tiramisu for dessert? I think it's a great, or your chicken wings, whatever you're eating, right? Who am I? I'm not here to judge. I think that would be a great idea. So, second great idea, at least as I've thought it, is that people will say, well, how do we know for sure that you traveled or you did this or you do that? It's called Strava, Strava. And I think it's a free app unless you're going to be out running around and you want all the bells and whistles. But it's Strava. You can sign up at Strava and just look for me, and then it will send you. It's like my proof to show you that I'm actually out there, right, spreading the word while I'm working on my spare tire, right? So spreading the theme of the show while I'm working on my spare tire, I'm going to be out and about running around. And Wayne, if you could put up strava.com in the feed, strava.com in the feed. Now, here's another thing. And again, none of these people are sponsors, so I mentioned it to you just to be able to tell you exactly what we're going to do. In order, right? Because there's a lot of bouncing. This is like a cyclocross bike. Who knows where we'll be taking it? We'll be taking it wherever people can see all the different signs. But we had to get a very special mount to mount, and they make them for motorcycles, which is what first drew my attention to them. Wayne, could you throw up that caw, I think it is, that caw picture? Oh, there we go. That accessory. What happens is you put your phone in there so that it can track your GPS, your time, your temperature, your movements, your speed, everywhere you go. And these little butterfly things that you see up and down in the video, they actually lock the phone into place. So this phone isn't going to bounce off when I hit a couple of potholes or I get forced off the road, that kind of thing. Right? Probably they've listened to the show and they go, yeah, we can't wait to drive him into a ditch. Right. So the car is the bracket that we're using to keep it all together so that when we're out on the road, we can be seen. And then on the internet, people can see us. I believe this Strava tracks in real time. As you notice, we've got all kinds of lights front and back to be able to make sure that everyone can see us. So we're very excited about it. I'll get to put in 20 miles a day starting Monday. I'll probably start tomorrow, to be honest with you, just because I'm itching to get out. I worked all week to build it. I'll probably get out tomorrow morning, put in a quick 20. Janice says, I need to get mine ASAP. Heading to Florida next Friday. Plan on eating out a lot. I will need to be prepared. Well, Jan, you'll be very happy to know that it comes in a 6-pack. Wayne, isn't that right? You can order the skateboard spray from orderleft.com. It comes in a 6-pack. Yes, a very cool little designer carry-all, right? But you can't carry it on airplanes, right? You gotta make sure.
I thought it was a 12-pack.
Well, that's for us. That's for a 12-pack. If you're going to a city that's been declared anarchist, if you're going to a city with a Democratic mayor, well, if you're going to a place in a state with a Democratic governor, then it comes in a 12-pack. But we have 6-packs for those times where you're really not sure, right? You're not like, look, if you're going to New York, you need to order a 12-pack and then have a 12-pack drop shipped. We have that ability as well. Drop ship it right to wherever your phone is, right? So we got that going. But yes, a 6-pack. And I should also say, in the interest of full disclosure, make sure don't try to carry it on in your luggage. Put it in your bag because TSA is not a fan of skateboard spray. But or have it shipped to your hotel or wherever you're going to be staying in Florida. And then whenever one of these asshats comes up to you, you'll be set and prepared and ready to go. So that's just a little customer service, little thing we do here at Radio Bry, the Brian Brawdy Show, a little thing that we do here to give back, and it's called skateboard spray. All right, so thank you for indulging me. Thank you for letting me talk about what we were doing. But Wayne, would you mind throwing that video up one more time? I'm going to be quiet during it, just so people can see it. Could you throw up that video one more time? I'm reminded, as Brian said last night, the first BB to get on. As Brian said last night, yeah, well, the mask, that oxygen deprivation, that explains a lot. So we'll be doing that. Probably tomorrow will be our test run, our virgin run, our shakedown cruise. I'll be going out, putting in a quick 20, driving around, see what we can get. And then starting next Monday, we'll be here to do that. And it's Strava, and maybe it's an app. So I don't even know if it's at strava.com.
I've posted the link.
Oh, you posted the link. Okay, thank you so much. I'm doomed. Janice says, Doug needs to ship it to Doug's. Okay, so we'll get a case out to Doug, right? We'll get a case out to Doug. Yes, we'll be wearing a helmet also. Don't worry about that. And Wayne, thank you very much. Strava, run and cycling tracking app. So you'll be able to see what we're doing, where we're going. As Wayne says, keep Brian honest. I like that. By tracking him at strava.com. So come on over, say hello. I'm very excited. And maybe, Wayne, we should probably put a link up on the website. Maybe one of the little buttons should be Strava so people can click on that and see what we've been doing that day. But our goal is a shakedown cruise tomorrow, and then starting Monday morning, 20 miles a day, 5 days a week on the bike, and we'll be throwing in some walking pickets. The one thing we won't be doing, Bridget Butler says, I love your wheels. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. One thing we won't be doing is driving around with the GPS unit out the window of the international or the global marketing vehicle when we're busy driving around the international airport at the international terminal at Columbus Airport. We won't be sticking out the window. So the only thing you're going to see is walking with the picket signs, right? Because I'm protesting. What am I protesting? That's a great question. Thank you very much for the text. Don't forget, you can text us 833-667-8251, 833-MORTAL, mortal, and the numeral 1. That's a great thing. What am I protesting? As I said the other day to the police officer, I'm protesting thin skin. You think you need bail money, Janice. I'm protesting perforated personas. I'm protesting just hot heads atop balsa wood spines, right? I'm protesting the lowlifes making headlines. I'm protesting anyone that will allow or attempt to allow your human wherewithal to be watered down. So that's my protest. So when people come up to me and go, well, you're not allowed out here, I'm protesting. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm allowed to do this. So that's what we'll be doing. We're going to be protesting and suggesting everyone come to Mortal Up with the disclaimer, as we said before, opening the show. If you're easily triggered, Muffin, go rent a therapist, right? Don't come here because I'm not a shrink. I'm not a doctor. I'm not any of those things. And I certainly don't have the time of day to figure out what's wrong with you. So, right. Well, right? Only because there's a laundry list, all right? If that's what you believe, if you're woke and that, right? That's why we had the whole segment, woke, spoke, and choke. I believe it is, Wayne. So we'll be protesting either running, walking with our picket signs, or riding the new mobile marketing vehicle, the mobile marketing machine. We'll be doing that starting tomorrow morning. Go over to Wayne. Thank you again for putting the link in. Go over to Strava.com, and I think you can follow us and track us for absolutely free. Thank you very much. All right, Wayne, we're going to get ready to go on a quick break. I got a little sip of apple juice, and then we're going to open the phone lines, bottom of the hour, kicking off the second half hour. We're going to be opening up the phone lines shortly thereafter. Oh, and a programming note, I'll mention this. We are going to be on for the greatest night in the history of television because the debates don't kick off till 9 p.m. Eastern. So come here, hang out with us. We'll have plenty to talk about. Then you'll have an hour to watch all these political pundits on TV pontificating, right, about how the debate is going to go between Biden. It's uncanny, except for the white teeth. It's just uncanny. So between Biden and I saw someone today call him Carrot Top, Biden and President Trump. The debate's going down Tuesday night, but we'll be here to get you ready, to get you primed, right? If you're tired of all the media malpractice, this will be the perfect place to come Tuesday night and get ready for the big debate. We'll go over popcorn recipes. Maybe Miss Putnam can come back on and she can talk to us about some cool TV side snacks for debates. Maybe she has an idea as to some things we can do, maybe like pork rinds. I don't know. All right, whatever it is that you like. But we'll be with you Tuesday night getting ready for the greatest evening of television. Now, they're going to tell you it's the Emmys. They're going to tell you it's the Oscars. They're going to tell you it's Jimmy Kimmel's attempt at bombing. Oh, you know who Jimmy Kimmel should get? What is her name? Janice. I forgot her name. JT. I know that. Oh, Jessica Tarloff. Stop. Jessica Tarloff should be. That's the only way to drive the numbers even further into the floor. She should be the co-host with Jimmy Kimmel. Yes, I am that terribly shallow. All right, we will be right back. To go the open this evening before I even knew what you were up to. What's going on with the shortened music there in the beginning?
Well, probably because of the intro lengthened everything so much. We went up to 45 seconds.
So we cut it back to 45 seconds. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I kept it at 45 seconds because normally it was 30 seconds, but I'll extend it tomorrow.
Nah, don't worry about it. I like it. You're the executive producer. What do I know? Okay, so listen, what's going on in the world? Right before we came on the air, my ears were bleeding having to listen to Jessica Tarloff. But I did get a couple of texts, one from the New York Crimes, one from the Wall Street Journal. I'm sure Washington Compost was on top of it as well. But that President Trump had picked, has decided who his nominee is going to be, or anything else you want to talk about. What's going on in the world that I've been busy working on our mobile marketing machine, and so I haven't been paying attention. What's going on other than those breaking news?
Well, I really haven't had much of a chance to pay too much attention to anything today.
All right.
Between that Wi-Fi network and getting back at 2:30 this afternoon to try and getting this all put together.
Sure.
So I haven't even read the news today.
Oh, all right. Well, Mitch McConnell says Kamala Godzilla is coming after us. So that's interesting. President Trump is picking, maybe he's told some people, he already knows who he's going to pick. I guess he's going to announce it Saturday night at a rally. But the big breaking news, and I posted up and someone says, oh, that's Bri, thanks, but I'll go ahead and Google it since you didn't give a lot of details, is just the absolute disappointment that the Federal Bureau of Insurrection has turned out to be. You know, coming from a family of cops, a lot of my close friends are cops. Just some of the dearest people in the world to me are either law enforcement or former law enforcement. So I think you always, well, that's not true. Listen, let me just say this. Since that bank robbery in Miami all those years ago, I've had almost zero respect for FBI. Anyways, right? I just didn't. That's me personally. I'm sure there's great folks there, right? I'm sure there's people that love Jessica Tarloff's voice. That's all I'm saying, right? I just, for whatever that's worth. But the Federal Bureau of Insurrection, Federal Bureau of Incompetence, which I've called them for over 20 some odd years. Let me see, 20, 30, 40, 50, 50, almost 30 years. No, that's not even true. Almost 40 years. I've been calling them the Federal Bureau of Incompetence. But today it seems that members, the higher echelon of the FBI, knew damn well from the beginning that the whole Russian collusion thing was a sham. The only people colluding with the Russians, Wayne,
were the FBI.
We're the FBI. Members of the Democratic Party. Well, let's hope the FISA court wasn't in on it, right? But did you see all those stories today? One of the emails that they got, and thankfully, the attorney for General Flynn, former General Flynn, is doing a bang-up job. And through disclosure, they got a bunch of these different things. And one of the FBI, one of the people there said, look, we're in hot water. This is crazy. This is insane. All they're trying to do is get Trump, and they're going to use any technique they can. Any technique they can.
Well,
you better get some attorneys, right? Here's a memo back and forth between bigwigs and the FBI saying we need to lawyer up. Now, if you have a law enforcement agency that says we better lawyer up, you got yourself an insurrection. What say you, Wayne?
Yeah, matter of fact, one of Mueller's team members came out. It was either yesterday or today, and basically said that the Mueller team's goal was to get Trump.
So see, that's why when they talk about a banana republic, you wouldn't expect what's supposed to be the premier, right? At least now the cat's out of the bag. It's not the premier law enforcement agency in the country, if not the world. Members of the FBI colluded. They knew going in that this information wasn't honorable. They knew going in this was a sham. They knew going in. That's why they wiped all the why did they wipe all the telephones? Because Mueller's about 35 seconds further down the road of Alzheimer's than Joe Biden is. Why they wiped all the phones is that's where all the evidence was. Now they had Lisa Page's phone the whole time, even though they had testified they didn't. And the pit bull, what is his name? Andrew Weissman. Let's hope he makes a lot of money on his book, because these folks, the people around. Oh, can I ask a question, Wayne? You're always the one telling me, hey, be careful. Watch what you're saying, this and that. But if Justin Bieber can challenge Tom Cruise, and if this new mixed martial arts guy can challenge, what's the basketball guy's name? He calls himself the King. What's that guy's name? Oh, you're right. LeBron James, right? Is that his name?
Yep.
LeBron James? Yeah. You go get him, Tiger. LeBron James, the mixed martial arts guy, challenged LeBron James. Could we go ahead and post, get the word out there that I challenge James Comey, Mr. 6'8", hanging out in the forest, learning kumbaya and meditation and deep breathing because of everything? I challenge James Comey.
Go hit Twitter.
Go hit Twitter. Oh, that's exactly what we'll do. Hey, James. Oh, so let me guess. You knew all along this was baloney. You knew all along this wasn't right. And look, I don't care who you vote for. I couldn't care less. I say that every time someone asks me. I couldn't care less. But what I do care about is that your government weaponizes a law enforcement agency to take out its competition. Who does that? Who does it? It'd be like me getting ready to play tennis. And, oh, you know what it is? It reminds me, the FBI now is not unlike that girl. What was her name? Tanya Harding? Who was the girl that smacked the skater in the kneecaps right before the competition?
That was Tanya Harding smacking Nancy Kerrigan.
Nancy Kerrigan. So what now? Tanya Harding, the FBI is a group of Tanya Harding sissies running around trying to take out the competition because they didn't like the guy? Tough luck. Like him or not. Someone said to me today, well, he's an egomaniac. Oh, listen, sis, wake up. They're politicians. They're career criminals. Of course they're egomaniacs. A politician's sole purpose of wanting to be a politician is to exercise control over you because they have no control over themselves. Look around. Oh, he's just an egomaniac. They're all egomaniacs. They all think, oh, we're going to shut down the playgrounds. Why? COVID can't survive on a playground. Oh, what? Okay, wait, phone call? All right, we got a phone call. Hey, Wayne, that's as good as any. I see you jumping around.
No, we don't have a phone call. I'm just letting you know you need to get it out there.
Oh, sorry. Okay, get the number out there again. 833-MORTAL, the numeral.
The phone lines are open. Now's your chance to mortal up and give Brian a shout, because your opinion deserves to be heard. Dial toll-free 1-833-MORTAL-1. That's 833-MORTAL-1.
Mortal 1.
There you go.
I love Wayne waving the phone. Let's just do it that way. Here's the thing. I'm busy looking at the feed. And let me just say quickly, I thank you, Candace, for reminding us that yet more stacks of dumped mail have been found. And I know, breaking news, right? you'll find this odd. All of them filled out for President Trump, right? Yeah. What can you ask me a question? Thank you, Janice, very much. It's LeBron. Brian says Tanya Harding. Yes, that's true. Janice says drain the swamp. Brian Bouchard says phone call. Brian, I'd love it for you to call. You can give us a holler, 833-667-8251. I'm pretty sure it's toll free. That's what they tell us. But if not, I'll buy the fudge the next time we're together. So that's just it. Hell, Wayne, I picked up my phone. Oh, so you thought Wayne was calling you. All right. So Wayne, let's just do that. If someone puts their phone, don't put their phone number in the feed. Let's just call. I got an idea. If we can't get people to call us, Brian, that's brilliant. We'll just call them. I love that idea. Well, that was slow last night. A lot of people didn't call in. Well, tough luck. We'll just start calling them. That's a great idea. Until that happens, you can give us a call at 833-MORTAL and the numeral 1. But let's get back to Tanya Harding posing as an FBI agent. So now you have a militarized law enforcement agency targeting your competition, and you're good with it. So you know what, wait, let me just say this. The whole thing about Joe Biden, I couldn't care less who you vote for, as you know, right? Because it's all going to blow out the way it blows out. Those of us that are ready are going to be ready. As Brian said, I'll just hand them a beer mug, right? It's all going to go down the way it goes down. So vote for whoever you want. But Joe Biden was the one that says, let's see if we can't get General Flynn on the Logan Act.
Absolutely.
On the Logan Act.
And that's because that's Joe Biden.
That's because he thought, wow, boy, that's a great way of telling me we got a call. All right. Oh, good. Let's take that call. All right, do we actually pick it up when it rings, or is that just, what do we do here? Does anybody know?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Is this Wayne?
Hello. You got to turn your volume down. You can listen to me through the call. Turn your volume down, please. Hi, who's this? Is this Janice?
Of course it's Janice. Who else? I'm trying to be
Good. We were about ready to call
her.
you. It's been a slow night. FBI's making their way through with everybody. What's going on, Janice?
Well, okay. I just wanted to say that out on Twitter,
Yeah.
It's down. It's down.
Okay. Yeah, you sound great.
Oh, it's your
You sound nothing like Fran Drescher.
I do sound like Fran Drescher.
I don't think so. Okay, sis, what's going on?
Okay, so there is a fundraiser for General Flynn tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
If you go out on Twitter,
Okay.
you should be able to see it. Just type in General Flynn, and you can support
Okay.
his defense fund.
Oh, great. What's his
can you
attorney's
hear me?
name? Sydney something. Anyone know? Wayne, what's his defense attorney's name?
I'm not
She's
sure.
great. Yeah, she's fantastic.
fundraiser.
By the way. All right, there's a fundraiser for him. Very cool. And that you say it's out on Twitter.
Yes, it's out on Twitter,
Okay.
and people can go out and donate.
All right, very cool. Yeah, well, you know what the thing is, you would hope that they're kind of covering his attorney bills as well, because she's made quite a name for herself. Janice, what's going on? What else? I asked Wayne earlier what's going on in the news. What is another thing that you want us to kick around here before we close? Janice?
Yes,
All right. Well,
I'm doing
Janice, thank you very much for calling. We appreciate it. Wayne, we can help you resolve that problem if you would like. My number is unlisted, as you know. Yeah, Brian, you got to be careful when you taunt Wayne. He's got like a top secret clearance from way back. So let's not put that out. All right. So thank you to Janice for the call. I appreciate it. She wanted to make mention of the fact that we have a fundraiser tomorrow for General Flynn. It's out over on Twitter. Again, Janice, thank you very much for the information. Let me say good evening to Merlin. Merlin, thank you for watching and joining us here on Radio Brian. We've got all kinds of things to talk about. The Federal Bureau of Insurrection, the Federal Bureau of Insanity, of Incompetence, fill in the I, however you like to. We were talking about that this evening. And then also G. Biden and all the different things that are going on. And you got to get to the point where you go, how much corruption can there actually be in one family? And then what are we doing? That's the guy that's running the risk of being the next president of the United States? Risk for him and for us. Sarah, good evening. Nice to see you. Thank you so very much for joining us. Please send our love to everybody up at the ranch. Also, Bridget, yes, sis is technically challenged. It is not me. Okay, it could be me, sis. Don't take it's me. I'm sure it's me. But thank you very much. We will post. Wayne will see if he can find a link to General Flynn's fundraiser tomorrow. And you swear? Sure, I'll swear it's me. It's us, Jan. Don't worry. All right. So here's the thing. Does anyone ever wonder if the rest of the American people knew? Good evening, Karen. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us here at Radio Bry. Please tell everyone we said hello. Come on, Janice, we know it is you, Brian Bouchard says. Did you ever wonder if a group of people really knew? Like, we talk all the time about you got to have the courage. The missing piece of the puzzle is courage. You think there's more and more people that knew that Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, something wasn't just right? I need a gig like that where I have no, well, I have a gig like that. I have no skill otherwise, but right, I get to be a consultant. I get to be this. I get to be that. GKH, thank you so very much for joining us this evening. Hey, I saw on Facebook the other day you had a nasty fall, I believe. I hope you're okay. Please let us know here in the feed if you are. Oh, speaking of here in the feed, I also need to thank everyone over at IPMNation.com that's listening. Of course, those people listening on MortalUp.com and all the people. We get all kinds of emails from the people listening on YouTube. Thank you very much for the people on YouTube. The comments on Spitter. Most of them Wayne can't even repost, but the comments on Spitter as well as on LinkedIn. But thank you all for listening at IPMNation.com. Mortal Up, if you're listening live, Mortal Up. YouTube, the Counterpunch Media channel on YouTube here in the Facebook feed. Also, if you're listening on podcast, then you know you're hearing this, be it on Spotify or iTunes or iHeartRadio. Thank you all so very much for your time. Janice says, hey, be hard. I tried calling in before you. Call in. Be hard. It was a typo. It is not me. All right, then. Brian sends his love, Janice. So not to worry. Back to the question. Did you ever wonder if most of us had the courage? We understood what the Bidens were up to. But now maybe it's the time of courage to go, you know what? This is BS, and we're done putting up with it. Hunter gets contracts with the Russians, with the Ukrainians, with the Chinese, and lo and behold, these contracts are people tied to the military of each of these countries, tied to the political. Say it isn't so. Say hello to Max very, very quickly. I saw somewhere where a couple different, somebody and somebody else, I forget, Wayne, if you can check our feed, somebody said, oh, well, if President Trump is reelected, we're going to leave. Right? So that we can find a place, we can move to a democracy. And I thought, you know what? This Tejan or whatever her name is. Let me say good evening to Paul. Paul, thank you so very much for joining us. Oh, Tejan and some singer, some guy singer, I don't know, said, well, we're going to leave because we want to find a better democracy. And I thought to myself, do they even know that we don't live in a democracy? Brian says, my new nickname, Be Hard. Be hard for president. It won't be so hard. Paul says, hey, Brian. Hey, Paul. Right back at you, brother. Hope everything is going well. Shame on Hunter. Bad news bears. I'm with you. And, Wayne and I, Bridget, we had a conversation today that basically just said, if the malfeasance, if not the absolute disregard of real stories, right? The misappropriation of the news feed. If news agencies don't want to do these stories, I think we should. That kills me. My new nickname is Be Hard. Brian, we've always called you Be Hard. Right? If they don't want to do these news stories, I think we should do them here. They don't want to run with the scoop, we'll get the scoop. For what reason? Because I said earlier, jumping on, I love watching people's heads explode. You can't go to Twitter now. You can't go to your Spitter feed without seeing some young person driving their car, screaming at their car phone while they're going down the street about how enraged they are because Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. Right? They're just apoplectic. They're just screaming. They're just hollering. And I'm telling you, there's an entertainment value in this. Everyone was like, well, Brian, don't you think it's important that you should try to calm all the emotion? You should calm all the craziness, right? Try to keep a lid on it. Don't let it blow up. The hell with that. I think this is entertainment. This is fantastic. Watching these people scream at their telephones. You can't buy this on Netflix. Right? Now you say, oh, Brian, but we like watching you on Netflix and, your episode of the Nat Geo show. Yeah. But you can't beat some of these people screaming at their telephone on Twitter. Drew, let me say hello. Nice to see you. Thank you so very much for stopping by. Bridget says, yeah, typo. And I have one hand. All right. Well, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Drew, hello once again. Brian Bouchard, you could make up a scoop and it wouldn't be any wilder than the majors report with their slants. Absolutely, Brian. So I did that the other day. We ended up with thousands of likes. And I just said, hey, you know what? Inside sources say that President Trump on a recent trip via Air Force One, taxpayer dollars, Air Force One clubbed a baby seal for some Arctic sushi and had a couple of reindeers brought down by a Black Hawk helicopter for reindeer gazpacho. And aboard Air Force One in the belly, they had a couple cases of Eskimo pies for everyone that thinks it's inappropriate or cultural appropriation or slamming people of color by saying Eskimo pies. He had a whole case of Eskimo pies. And believe it or not, Twitter or Facebook wouldn't run with the article. And I go, well, what if I'm the Onion? What if I'm the Babylon Bee? What are some of the other satirical websites? Well, of course, CNN, right? We know that already, the Circus News Network, with little Jimmy accosted. But you're right, Brian, we could make up our own scoop. But what kills me is that when they say all the time they're going to fact check. And I said President Trump clubbed the baby seal, used the military to bring down reindeer for gazpacho, and disparage Eskimos with Eskimo pies, and the fact checkers let it through. These fine, upstanding young book and witch burners reincarnated, these fact checkers, right? Talk about bootlickers. Everyone wants to suck up to little Marky Mark here on Mug Pamphlet. Brian says, shocker. Bridget says, go ahead, Trump. Make America greater. And he will. Well, we're going to find out in 38 days, my friend. I'll tell you, Bridget, won't be that long. We'll find out for sure what's going on. But what kills me is I understand, look, I don't understand how people have come to some of the reasoning, but I respect their opinion. You hate President Trump. I get that. But you'd rather vote someone in? You'd rather vote someone in that's tied to the Communist Party in China, tied to the Ukraine. He's on tape saying, if this prosecutor continues with the investigation, I'm going to tear up your $1 billion check. And everyone goes, can you believe the Ukraine government dropped the investigation for $1 billion? Yeah, I believe it. They're politicians. They're hot heads wrapped in thin skin. They're looking to exercise control over you because they have no control over themselves. I don't understand what could be so hard. Brian says, I believe it. Why wouldn't they? I'm just saying, if you're going to have fact checkers, then check the facts. Is it true? Suppose I was you see the Three Stooges doing fact check meme. All right. So hold on. Thank you, Candace. I said last night, Candace is like a a field producer, right? She produces in the field. Wayne, that reminds me, we have a new logo that we want to get up tonight that we've been working on. It's hard for me to hit this button. Wayne, what is that new logo you've been working on? Candace reminded me of the Three Stooges. What are we working on?
I was wondering if you were going to get to this one.
I forgot all about it. You're supposed to be waving the phone, telling me, right? I'm just crazed
All right, here
with
it
the
goes.
Federal Bureau of Incompetence. The Three Stooges +1, and our +1 tonight is Jerry. Geez, watch me. I can wear my belt all the way up around my nipples. Nadler? Are you kidding? Really? So the Three Stooges, let me see. The guy with the hair plugs, that's Charles Schumer. I recognize, and you notice none of these people are wearing masks. I'm just saying, Wayne, it's the law. I'm just saying. You scream at everyone else wears a mask now. In fairness, maybe Nancy is at the hair salon when this picture was shot in her Star Trek outfit. Is that a Star Trek outfit? It seems strangely familiar. I saw Spock wearing that very outfit.
I'll have to zoom in. I'll have to
Yeah.
tomorrow. I'll try to find that picture and zoom in to see what that is.
Yeah, I think it's one of the Star Wars insignia. I really do. And Shifty Shift, we know him. He's the one calling on Republicans, going, "A Republican's a good conscience, got to stand up." They stand up, they'd be impeaching you. And of course, Nadler. Can I ask you a question? What happens to a human mind? And it's a serious question. What happens to a human mind that thinks it's a good look to wear polyester pants with the belts all the way up covering your sternum? It's like a sternum strap, right? Your belt is all the way up to your nipples. Wayne, I'm sorry. Am I allowed to say nipples? Breasts. Your belt is, see, it rhymed better. So, right, forget I said nipples. Wayne will bleep that out in the podcast version. A belt all the way up to your breasts. Jenna says, oh my God, it does look like a Star Trek outfit. I think it is, Wayne. I think she's like, beam me up, Shifty. And Schumer's over there going, I'm giving it all I've got, Captain. And Nadler's like McCoy. He's like a fat McCoy. Dr. McCoy, Bones. Yeah, we'd call you Bones, but you weigh 400 pounds and you wear your leather belt up around your neck. There's one on Larry, Curly, and Mo. It's hilarious. I know. So who would be, okay, Wayne, help me out here. Who would be Larry? Got to be Nancy.
Yes, definitely Nancy.
Curly's got to be Schumer because of his hair plugs. Mo has got to be Shifty Schiff. What's his name? Adam Schiff?
Adam Schiff.
Shifty. Schiff. Oh, it is just Schiff?
Pencil neck.
And so the +1 is Nadler. Bones in the Star Trek thing. Just Bones after he gained 400 pounds. All right, so there you go. Thank you, Wayne, very much. The Three Stooges +1. And Wayne, am I forgetting anything else? Because you do a great job on all these graphics. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? We went down. Oh, don't forget, head on over to mortalup.com and order your skateboarder spray and get it in time for the holidays, right? It makes, as does the koozies we talked about last night, it makes for a great stocking stuffer if you want to do that. Let us know. Just private message me and I'll bang one in an envelope. I'll buy the stamp. And if you give it a week or two to get there, unless, to Candace's point, unless, and this would be great, Wayne, wouldn't it? We find an entire tray of mail, but instead of ballots for President Trump, they're Mortal Up koozies.
Yeah, they may end up in a ditch.
They may end up in a ditch. We call out the Federal Bureau of Incompetence and go, I demand an investigation, because it's still a federal service, mail, right?
Absolutely.
One would think maybe they'll throw them in a ditch. All right, so here's the scoop. We're not going to have time to get to Mortal Up tonight because I blathered on. Thank you all for joining us. But remember, you have the courage. It sits in you. Now's the time to channel it. Call out the Meshuggah. Spray these skateboarders right in the face. Oh, it's just shameless promotion. Trying to make a buck here selling, what's it called? Skateboarder spray. Skateboarder spray. And I'm told it's got an adjustable nozzle. It's just fantastic. So order your cans of skateboarder spray so you know you're set for those holiday dinner parties that you want to have outside in public. So we didn't get to it, but have the courage to carry your skateboard spray. Have the courage to stand up. They want to hijack your head, but it's your heart's final decision as to whether that happens or not. All right, Bridget Butler, I will rock that koozie with pride. Well, then you know what, Bridget? I'm sending you 2 koozies. so you can rock 2 koozies with pride. Just give us the the mailing address. We'll keep it to us. No one else will know. You're texting to Wayne, and we'll get you some koozies. Janice says, hey, hey, hey. I think she's doing a Harry Carey. I'm not really sure there. I think maybe Janice thinks it's a seventh inning stretch over at Wrigley Field. All right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you so very much for joining us. Don't forget, reach out over at mortalup.com. You can hit us here, Brian Brawdy Official on Facebook, of course, over at Spitter at Brian Brawdy. Wayne, as always, thank you for everything. And we look forward to seeing you Monday, only 24, 25, 26 hours out from the biggest night of television in human history. The biggest night in TV since they invented electricity. But we'll be back on Monday night preparing, get you ready for that. Wayne, we are out. Thank you all very much.
Thanks for listening to The Brian Brawdy Show. Until next time, get out there and mortal up.